Hello and welcome to Carandbike. Meet the new Triumph Thruxton 400. Yes, this is the cafe racer model based on the Triumph Speed 400 and the Triumph Scrambler 400X, which you have all seen on our streets. It has the same engine, yes, but it's been tweaked. Chassis more or less the same, but also some changes in the chassis. We'll talk all about that, but it's got a retro sport bike styling, cafe racer, sort of those hand-built, stripped-down cafe racer models from 1960s England. Now in 2025, the Triumph Thruxton 400 pays homage to that category of motorcycles, the cafe racer motorcycles, and it has that name which is synonymous with Triumph's earlier Thruxton models like the Thruxton 900 and the Thruxton 1200. Now, it's a category which hasn't been very popular in India, even from brands like Royal Enfield, compared to the Roadster and Scrambler models. The question we're trying to answer in this first ride review is, will Triumph be able to reignite new interest in a category of cafe racer motorcycles? But before that, please do consider liking the Car and Bike channel, hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time we ride an interesting new motorcycle like this and tell you all about it. Time now to take a closer look at the new Thruxton 400. There's no doubt that the Thruxton 400 underscores its cafe racer lineage to the T. It makes a solid visual statement and captures the essence of the first cafe racers from the 1960s in a completely modern package. With its half fairing, sculpted fuel tank, clip-on handlebars, bar end mirrors, and brushed aluminum touches, it is a fitting tribute to the iconic Triumph Thruxton family. On the chassis side, the main frame is the same as the Speed 400s, but the rear subframe is completely new. The steering geometry has been altered as well, with a sharper rake angle to complement the bike's sporty character and personality. But it could have been even more aspirational. There are no gold anodized upside down forks, nor are the brake and clutch levers adjustable for each, and the rear grab rail somehow interrupts the iconic cafe racer lines. Yet the Thruxton 400 is a high quality motorcycle and has impressive attention to detail and finish in 4 eye-catching colors. Just take a look at the Thruxton 400. That front half fairing leaves no doubt that this has got the typical Thruxton DNA. The clip-on handlebars, low-slung riding position. This is a true blue cafe racer and it is the smallest Thruxton model in Triumph's lineup. Looks gorgeous. In my book, it has all the qualities that a Thruxton model or a Thruxton lineage has. And to that end, I think Triumph has done a brilliant job designing this motorcycle. It's got the stance, it's got the look, it's got the style, and it is definitely going to turn heads on the street if you were to consider buying this, or even if you ride it. The foot pegs have been moved slightly rearward, so it's more rear set than the Speed 400, roughly about 25 millimeters. It's been moved behind to give you a sportier riding position. The handlebar has been moved down, so you get a slightly crouched down, typical cafe racer position. So to that end, I think this really hits the nail on the head as far as cafe racer ergonomics and cafe racer design go. But there are changes to the engine which has been tweaked. There are changes to the gearing, and the rear subframe is of course completely new to accommodate the slimmer tail section and of course that rear seat cowl. So the subframe, the grab rail which has been mounted on the subframe, this part is completely new in terms of chassis. Suspension has got 10 mm more travel than the Speed 400. So this has 10 mm more suspension travel front and rear. What do you think about the design of the new Triumph Thruxton 400? Do let us know in the comments. Time now to take it for a spin and tell you how is it to ride compared to the Speed 400 and how is it to ride as a cafe racer in that segment as well. The Thruxton 400 delivers entertaining performance and impressive agility.
The single-cylinder engine with a slight bump in power makes accelerating the Thruxton 400 an entertaining affair. And when the corners come up, the suspension, the chassis and brakes ensure confident handling. The riding position with the low clip-on handlebars and rear set pegs is aggressive, but quite nice for a spirited blast down a twisty road. But spend an hour or so in the saddle and that sporty riding position becomes uncomfortable. And with its 183 kg curb weight, the Thruxton 400 is 4 kg heavier than the Speed 400. But the engine now makes more power and the final drive has been changed with a smaller rear sprocket.
Now to offset that weight, what Triumph has done is made changes to the valve train. The camshafts have been optimized, the valve springs have been stiffened up. The result is that it's got a higher rev range, it's got a 1000 RPM higher rev range, makes at least around 2 bhp more than the Speed 400. Yes, you heard it right, it makes more power than the Speed 400. Result, 0 to 100 kilometers, this one actually is quicker than the Speed 400 by a full 1 second. Now the cafe racer, the original cafe racers were known to hit the ton, the 100 miles per hour speed. And this actually does that. That is what Triumph says so. It hits a top speed of 161 kilometers per hour, which is a full 13 kilometers per hour more top speed than the Speed 400. So quicker acceleration, higher top speed. So this is the more performance oriented motorcycle. Now, when we were riding it, I rode it through a lot of traffic today, and that riding position really, if you're going to be sitting in traffic every day, all day long, it is not the ideal riding position to be in. So it takes a toll on you. But if you're riding on a twisty open road and you're having fun, this is really agile. That punch, the performance of the engine, the throttle particularly, the throttle is very crisp, the throttle response is very nice, the fueling is very good, and it handles very nicely. Brakes are superb, it's got sintered pads, so brakes very good. And those Apollo Alpha H1 tires have got very good grip. So if you want a fun motorcycle to ride on weekends occasionally, and you're looking at something like this, a beautiful cafe racer design at an affordable price point, the Thruxton 400 has got all bases covered. But if you want to do long rides, if you want to do daily commutes on it, then that riding position may be a spot of bother. But in terms of performance, in terms of agility, in terms of handling, super fun.
The new Thruxton 400 certainly has its strengths: impressive performance, agile handling and beautiful cafe racer styling. But it has limitations in comfort and practicality, which just cannot be overlooked despite its elegant looks and sporty performance.
The Triumph Thruxton 400 makes a solid statement as an affordable cafe racer based on a platform which has already proven its worth with the Speed 400 and the Scrambler 400X. This also makes a strong case for anyone looking at a second or third motorcycle to add in his or her garage if you want to have fun, short rides around town. Even for born-again bikers or middle-aged persons like me who wants to have weekend fun, hang out with friends, go for a coffee meetup or a breakfast meetup, and you want to add an affordable cafe racer, gorgeous-looking motorcycle in your garage, this also applies to you guys as well. But for those of you who want a versatile motorcycle in your single bike garage, the Thruxton 400 has got its limitations. The sporty ergonomics is not suited for longer rides. Neither will your significant other will be happy going on rides with you on your Sunday morning outings. Nevertheless, the Thruxton 400 should find takers in the international markets, and of course for those of you who want to add a second or third bike in your garage. How it eventually fares in the Indian market is something time will tell. You let us know what you think of the Thruxton 400, or would you have been more interested in something more classic like a Bonneville 400 perhaps, or maybe even a sport touring variant based on the same platform. Do let us know in the comments about those thoughts. Would you pick this, or would you have preferred something like a Bonneville 400 perhaps?